So chin up, do you know what I'm saying? Put your best faces on. We are hopefully live on both the tube of you, your tube, and LinkedIn, at least in theory. So welcome wherever you are in the world of the internet. This is our weekly show, which admittedly has been on a little bit of a hiatus the last week or so for various reasons, like life. So we're back for the first time for a couple of weeks. But it's good to welcome HubSpot Chief Executive Officer. I know he doesn't look old enough to be a Chief Executive Officer, but he is one. James Hooker. Congratulations, everyone. And my business partner, life coach, and general inspiration, Richard, face for radio, Underwood. Thank you, Richard. Mr. Underwood, as we've now taken to call him. James, you have to call him Mr. Underwood. And we're going to change the format a little bit. Where we've dragged HubSpot are now doing so many updates. It looks like there's, God, there was probably hundreds just last week again. Or actually, it doesn't look to be that many last week.
2 pages.
Yeah, 2 and a bit pages. Rather than dragging through everything, what our esteemed panel have done is they've chosen their favourite ones for us to feature. Rich, I'll come to you first. Maybe you can kick off just to give James time to make sure he knows which one he's going to talk about. And we'll try and get it done in a bit more of a sensible amount of time. And as I say, not just go through a load of rubbish in the HubSpot portal. Rather, we'll pick the things that we think are going to have the most impact or are the most interesting to us specifically. So without further ado, as I say, Rich, let me share our screen. Let's get the share up. There you go. And now I've got to add you to that. Sorry, Rich. I don't know what's going on here. Goodness gracious me. Never work with children, animals, or Tony. There you go. So Rich, what do you want to kick us off with? Where do you want to steer me to for your first update? You're back on mute because your phone was ringing. You're eating your lunch. What's going on?
I know. I've been distracted. Needless to say, it was an important call that I've ditched for this video conference. So,
Because we're important to you as well.
Yes, indeed. So I'm looking at last 7 days.
Yes.
And medium importance according to HubSpot, or impact, not importance.
Yeah.
So the 2 things that I'm going to immediately pick out, which may or may not be the most important things, but they're certainly things that make sense to me. So they've made some improvements to the UTMs that they use in the campaigns tool, which is always good. Higher resolution tracking is never a bad thing, as long as it's consistent, which I think that's one of the things they're achieving here, because they've started to allocate a unique reference or a unique identifier, which will help some of the confusions, because it used to be done on campaign name, but obviously in certain instances that can cause a problem. Like, for example, if you rename your campaign or you have similar campaign names, things can get confused. So that's a good thing.
Where have you seen that, Rich? Sorry to interrupt you, because it's not on my demo portal beta in the last 7 days. Where did you get it from?
It was on the 22nd of November. That's...
So this goes back. Oh, that should be it.
Yeah, it should be. And then, I haven't got it on in beta. I've got all product updates.
Yeah, that's right.
There you go, sir.
Right. Important campaign UTM improvements. Good grief.
There you go.
So, explain that in English, Rich, because I know you're a bit of a paid media guru, and you know what a UTM is. But for those of us who are less gifted, what does it mean? What does that mean, Rich?
They're just the tracking parameters that you see on the URL to tell you what campaign they belong to, possibly where they were clicked, what campaign they belonged to, what media they were displayed in, those kind of things.
Okay.
And just increasing the accuracy and resolution of that tracking.
So these are the string of numbers on the end of the URL in the top bar that you can add.
Yeah, usually words and numbers, because Google Ads is Google Ads. So what they're doing now, like I say, is they've done away with using the campaign as the name of the default tracking parameter, and instead they've used a unique reference number, which will probably be more accurate over time.
Okay, fair enough.
And then I've got one more, which I think is just silly, but
Okay.
really good. So it's a countdown timer on CTAs.
Yeah.
Right there. So while it's a bit trivial, we see them all the time, all over the place. Click on this or buy this before this timer runs out to achieve to achieve a 40% bonus instead of our usual price or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of kick. So yeah, it's just now been built into the CTAs tool in HubSpot. So you don't have to do any clever programming or clever finagling. It's just there.
Oh, good word. So it does, again, for the hard of thinking, like me, maybe watching. This means you can what? You can push them up and then get rid of them on a timer. So you can serve a CTA on the screen and then get rid of it. Is that what it's doing?
No. So literally, it's just if you click on
I can see it. It says add in a countdown to your CTAs. Yeah. James is laughing at me because I always manage to get the wrong end of the stick when it comes to these updates. It's a shame HubSpot don't consult with me first, so they could find out what idiots will think they mean when they give these updates titles. James, what's those are Richard's two top ones out of last week's. What are you going to talk to us about?
Well, aside from that one, which I do really quite like in its cute little way, conditional properties in playbooks is another one that stood out to me as something that could have quite a nice impact. Don't know why. As always, HubSpot's release impacts don't really compare to our views of the importance of something.
Yeah. So where's this, James, so I can share it for our viewer?
It's on my page 2. My 7-day filter.
All product.
All product updates.
7 days again.
7 days.
Sorry. There you go.
And page 2, halfway down page 2.
Add Kate. No. Halfway down.
Page 2.
Sorry, James. As I said, I can't help it. I'm stupid. Conditional properties in playbooks. Thank you very much.
That's the one. Yeah. So basically, playbooks is a tool that a lot of people don't use very much.
Which is a criminal shame. It's an awesome bit of kit, the playbook. I love a playbook, me.
Yep, indeed it is. A good one. And it's very good for processes, for adoption. And this is going to definitely improve on that fact. I mean, because if you add conditional fields onto a record in HubSpot and you're just updating them on the sidebar, if you set something, you have to refresh the page before the other fields will appear, which is a little bit annoying. Whereas with this, you can give somebody a flow that information needs to be collected as part of this business process. They click on a playbook. Based on what they input, other conditional fields are going to come up, and you can make sure that everything that's needed within that particular occurrence of that process is collected in the right order and at the right time. So it should help with people following and doing what they're meant to do, and not having gaps in the data that then screw up reporting later down the line.
So this is an enterprise feature, sadly. So hopefully it'll come down to pro, and maybe actually playbooks are pro and above, aren't they?
They are, yeah.
So am I reading this one correct? James, help me out. So if I've got, let's say I've got a briefing document as a playbook, I'm going to take a discovery call with the client, and right at the top, I select the type of business or the industry or the area, even, the geography of that customer. Then I'm going to get conditional questions in the playbook based on, for instance, that first answer. Other things are going to appear.
Yep,
Excellent.
that's exactly right. Yeah.
That's really cool, isn't it? Well, I got that one right then. Thank
Yeah.
goodness for that. Any more for any more, James? Any other ones?
So what do you think? So there was another one that I saw that I quite liked.
That's a relief. Otherwise, it'd be a very short show.
Oh yeah, charge a payment method for future charges with Commerce Hub. That is another big gap. Same page, just underneath the other one actually. Yeah, I mean it's exactly what it says on the tin. Previously, when you were collecting payments using HubSpot Payments, someone could fill out a form and then that could schedule things. It could have subscriptions and so on. But if you need to make one-off charges, you'd need to like create a payment link for that one-off charge, send it to the customer, and now you can, with the details you've already collected from a previous payment, you can do that payment, do a follow-on payment, as well as a couple of other extra little bits that are changing within the experience. So, I mean, Commerce Hub has definitely been a little bit slow to go up. I mean, that in fairness to them, they've been adding stuff very quickly as you can with something as sensitive as payments. But there have been roadblocks with clients that we've had as where key things have been missing that have just prevented them from making that move over from whatever their legacy payment system is. And this is definitely one of them that's come up. So it's good to see that hole has been plugged with that feature.
So this is like that thing when you pay for something with your card on Google and Google says, "Do you want me to save this card?" It's basically it's
Yeah,
that kind
exactly,
of that kind of functionality. So yeah, it'll make that is a bit of an issue if you're going to ask people to re-enter the card detail every time they come back to your shop and buy something else, or even if you're selling services, it would be a bit of a pain. This appears to be HubSpot's tactic, doesn't it? You know, it sort of launches at MVP, you might call it.
Yep.
And then gradually over a period of time, these functions, these features get better and better. I'm going to talk about an update. It's more generally applied. I don't think it's in here, but it's the same concept. So I've noticed in the portal over the last week or so, there's been an improvement to the way that Breeze works. In that HubSpot are now going to allow you to check out what they're going to give you a sample of the sort of updates that the Breeze platform will supply to you. So if you've got a contact record or a company record and it's got gaps in it, the theory is that by clicking on Enrich in HubSpot, in fact I should be able to do it here, then the Breeze AI, HubSpot's AI, will go into the internet world, and it'll find the properties that you're missing. So if I select this random contact, it's not actually going to show up. That's useful. There it goes. So if I then click on check enrichment coverage, it's going to tell me, as you can see there, it's going to give me now. The fact that this contact is a nonsense contact, right? It's a demo contact. It's not a not real person, so you can see it's not going to be terribly accurate. But this is great now for those of us who are a little bit suspicious of whether we're going to get the detail that we want. We're now able to stick. I think there's 100 that you can use. I've got a feeling it's 100 records you can test before you pay. So you're going to see exactly. So in this case, you're going to see whether it's got the region, the country, the city, the last name, the things that you want to enrich. This is going to tell you that HubSpot has got it before you spend. I think that will probably revolutionize the use of Breeze within HubSpot, the use of these enrichment tools. Now, up to now, you can sort of go anywhere else and do that. You could go to Apollo and do it. You could Zoom Info. There's loads of different ways to do it. Having it in HubSpot, built into HubSpot, is clearly a genius move. It's a great idea. And then I think allowing people to give it a try before they stump up for the upgrade, I just think is super clever. James, have you seen that yourself?
Yeah, I've had that in use of a client before who was thinking about Breeze, and it does definitely help, as you say, to reduce that barrier of wondering whether how it's just going to not really do anything useful or not. So it was helpful for the same reasons you said.
Yeah. And it's really interesting the way this area is moving. Now, in the US, this is not available in Europe. It'd be interesting to see whether it comes to the UK, because obviously we're not part of the EU from a regulation perspective, regulatory framework perspective. But in the US, the latest features are basically surfacing visitors to your website, their name and their email address as they visit. So now you'll get a notification to say, James Hooker is on your website right now. And this is his email address, this is his phone number. So I suppose you could even ring him and say, hey, James, I see you're on our website. Can I help you with something? Can I answer a question for you? Or even maybe pop up a live chat, perhaps would be slightly less scary. So this this stuff is only gathering a pace, and obviously the advent of the AI is contributing to that. Rich, is that in terms of the paid media world? Is this the final kind of death knell for impression-based advertising, third-party data, or whatever you want to call it? If we're literally going to be able to see who the person is visiting our website, how does that? I know I'm putting you on the spot again, as usual. How does that change your approach to paid media, if at all?
I mean, it like a lot of things, it just depends on how not valid, but how much that data is actually available to everybody. Because in most instances, people are looking at ads in search. It's not going to change that perspective. So people are still going to end up being anonymous in those circumstances. It's not until they actually come to your website where that might reveal more information to you. You still have to go through the process of getting them on your website using a paid ad of some description. So, I mean, the whole thing about cookies, third-party cookies, and all that stuff. I mean, there's probably really, really good reasons why Google's basically said, that thing that we were going to do with Chrome, we're going to can that. And the reason they're going to can it is because it's too blooming hard to do, to do the rest of it. Because the internet's a bit, it's based, it's very much based on an anonymous browsing. You can't even say it, so that helps. So yeah, I think, I don't know. There's going to be movements on anonymous browsing and cookies and all that sort of stuff over time. The internet will fundamentally change at some point, I think. Maybe for the better. A lot of the problems of the internet are caused by the anonymous nature of interactions.
Openness.
Look at commenting on just about anything.
Yeah,
it's an absolute sewer.
Yeah.
If you're not there representing yourself and you've just got either anonymous or a fake persona, then the value is much less, I think. I've also got another thing I wanted to pick up because I've just spotted it. It's
cool.
Really cool. So there's another thing that they released, and they actually released it a couple of weeks ago. So and it's in private beta, but obviously you can jump on there. And that is it's for Content Hub. It's AI A/B testing of pages.
Ooh.
For landing pages specifically. So
is this last 7 days as well, Rich?
No, I think it's just outside of that parameter. Actually, I think it's the 15th. Yeah, the 15th.
Okay. Any idea what page it's on?
It's on page 3. I've got my search is set to all products, all time. You could just search for it. Just AI landing, AI pages, AI landing, AI landing. No, that doesn't seem to work.
The search is always a bit rubbish, to be honest.
Yeah, if you just type in landing page, that'll work. There it is.
This, yeah?
Yep.
Amazing. So, how on earth does AI tell you whether you're, or is it AI generating the alternative copy? Yeah, that's obviously what it is.
It literally does all the things you do in an A/B test. The AI just suggests the test. You select it, whichever test you want to run, and then it runs it. and then it comes back with the data, and then you can decide if it's a successful test or not. So it takes all of the manual work out of it, really, which I think is great, because people should A/B test their pages, the important pages. Obviously, not every page. Although if you've got a small site, why not?
But there's a good chance you won't. Sorry, go on, Rich.
I suspect that certain pages are more important to A/B test than others. There's going to be a lot of conflicting information about some pages, like homepage maybe. People come for so many different uses, but for specific pages, you could really quickly define some really, really useful changes that you can make to the page, I think.
Yeah.
So that gets my vote.
James, what do you think of that?
Sorry, I was just looking at something else I wanted to mention.
You've got another one. But what about this A/B test? So it seems to be yet another use case. I don't know whether it's me, but all of a sudden AI seems to be helping people do things really quickly. Maybe that's what it always was, right? But this sort of AI work would normally take you, 20 minutes to put together an A/B test for a landing page. Clearly, is a click of a button. And we were talking yesterday about some businesses that charge people per hour to produce documents, for instance. So we've done you a strategy plan. It took 5 hours to do it, 2-hour workshop, 2 hours to format and put. How are you going to charge people to produce this stuff if AI is doing it for you?
Probably the same amount until everybody starts doing
until everybody catches on. Yeah, you're such a cynic, James. You're such a cynic.
I agree with James.
It's interesting with this one because there used to be something called adaptive testing in HubSpot, which I imagine this is in some way superseding. So I'd be curious to know what changes there are in there, because I believe that used some kind of machine learning. So I guess this is using the better AI technologies we have today to deliver more accurate results and do more accurate analysis of the content. Did it say that to like producing the content, or is it like making different versions as well, or is it just?
I think so. Yeah. How does it work? From the landing page editor, click test, then click A/B test with AI. HubSpot will apply the change to the page, name the test, and start it for you. The page can be edited and renamed as you would desire it. So yeah, it's literally putting the whole thing out there rather than you having to do it, which is fantastically valuable.
Yeah, at least it's giving you the opportunity to check the B version that producing.
It's less of an issue. It's definitely, I don't know, I don't see so many hallucinations. Again, maybe it's just me, but it's getting better, isn't it? It's I read an article this morning that said we've got 18 months to save ourselves from AI, because as it continues to get better, we've now seen it. We've seen it for like a year or whatever. We've seen the improvement it's made in that period. So now there's only 18 months before it takes over. So there you go. That's a bit of an exclusive for our HubSpot update.
So is that like an 18 months until AI creates Cyberdyne, and then we become basically surplus to requirements?
Basically,
is that what you're saying?
Yeah. It's you'll get a prompt on your computer. It'll say, "Shall we play a game?" And that's it. It'll be all over.
Okay. I'll stop paying into my pension then, because
you might as well.
Clearly, that's a waste of money right now, and I'll just spend it on. Well, I don't know.
Unless sweets.
Drunk all the time.
Spend it on sweets. Maybe there is a pension company AI. That'll be the one that's doing the takeover. Anyway, we digress. James, what was your one? You want to fit in quick?
Well, it is going to be a quick one. It's ridiculously simple. Index table right. Try searching for that. Index table right.
I saw that one.
You two are such geeks. Honest to God.
This is one of those. I mean, speak for yourself as well.
Just you and Rich would be interested in. Yeah.
I mean, just look at how useful this is. Now we can right-click and add and remove columns from the list views within HubSpot. I mean, how many times, Rich, have you also gone on and tried to do this and realized it doesn't exist, and had to go all the way to the side, click on edit columns?
Just work on every index page, or is it just lists?
Let me have a look. I got so
No,
excited.
it's doing it on contacts there. Yeah, it's
everywhere.
showing contacts.
Yeah.
So instead of having to go edit columns, go in, search for the column, add the column, drag it to the place where you want it to be, apply the change, you just right click and go add remove. Beautiful.
Yeah.
I agree. I take everything back that I said earlier. That's even useful for a non-geek like me. Fantastic.
Exactly. It's just another reason not to export your data from HubSpot. Or
Yes.
Go through that hassle.
Yes.
Like, the more the better.
Absolutely. Nice. Well, I think we've exhausted this particular puppy. There's not much life left in it. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me again. Some nice chat. A little bit of everything there today. Hopefully, we'll go back and see that was on both LinkedIn and YouTube. I can't wait to see the viewing figures, which have stuck firmly on 0 for the for the entirety of the stream. Hopefully, some people will pick it up. And if you do watch it and you watch it till the end, let us know. We're desperate to know whether this stuff is useful to people. Just drop a comment, and even if it's not, drop a comment. Who cares? Let us know you're watching. Subscribe for more. Do all the things that the kids do, and smash things and click things.
Put it on TikTok. That's what we want to
Put
see.
it on TikTok and do all that stuff. Absolutely. And we'll see you next week with more HubSpot updates. Speak soon. Thanks, guys. Cheers.